It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. We're loving you as a dirty job. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard more RATT with Shame, Shame, Shame. Shame, shame, shame. I should have known better than to allow the server to go almost a month without any maintenance. And a guy who services servers all week and all day long and other technical shit. My good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, we're here. A nice 1 hour intro.
Yeah, you know what? That server has been working flawlessly for a month. Sure. Literally a month. I haven't touched it. I normally do a little update on it and, do a little scan on it. But I've been away for the last 3 weekends and haven't touched it, and little, shame on me for not getting up here about an hour early and just making sure everything was running right. So that's all on me, my friend, since all the equipment is here.
We picked it up. It's all good. No, everybody seemed to enjoy playing some Metallica and some Testament and whatever until things were ready.
Right.
It's all good.
But we're back. Everything's fine. Everything's rebooted. Everything's good. But I hate when I do that because I should know better. After doing this for 21 years, I should know better. But I just rely on the equipment to work.
Dude, you know how it is, man. Those fucking documentaries, you can't let them go to actually go and do work.
Absolutely. Well, here I am. You and I are back together again after 3 weeks apart.
Well, sorta. We did give them a show that we got punished for, of course, because everybody bitched. It's not pre-record. It's a pre-record.
Well, that was a damn good show. I don't care what anybody says, pre-record or not. You guys got a damn good show.
That was fun. We had me and you. Not only does that annoy me, and it does. It absolutely annoys me to death when people bitch about the pre-records, because you and I go out of our way to do it on a work night. We were up that night that we did it. We were up till what, 1 a.m?
Well, it wasn't quite that late. Well, it was that late for you because you're an hour ahead. But yeah, it was about midnight for me. But we wanted to make sure everybody got a fresh show. And, the thing is that makes this show tick on a live level. The people who download the podcast every week who don't tune in live, they don't know one way or the other. But the people who do tune in live and like to interact in the chat room, it's just the whole acknowledgement of their existence during the live program, and that's what they miss because they need our attention, Chris. They need us to turn our attention directly to them, stroke their little fevered brow, tell them everything will be all right, give them a little pat on the ass, and send them on their way so they can make it through another harsh week.
Hey, that's fine and dandy and all that. But it's not real easy to get your dick sucked when every single Saturday you're like, oh, no, I got to go and fucking talk to people.
Right.
The girls, at least the ones that I'm dating, do not fucking appreciate, hey, let's do something on Monday.
Yeah.
Every Monday, every Wednesday. They don't appreciate that.
Yeah. Saturday is date night.
Yeah, it is. Although I've convinced the one that Monday is the date night.
Right. That's how it goes.
Yep. So I'm sick again. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I heard you, coughing up some crud again, and got to get that immune system strengthened and control those little nasty buggers.
Oh, whatever. I'm dead in a few years anyway. Whatever. Might as well go out slow and painful.
You're going to be one of those guys that you'll say that kind of shit, but then you outlive everybody.
No, that's definitely.
And the doctors will go, "This guy was a miracle." This guy was a miracle. He had this accident in his 30s, and here he is, 95 years old.
Yeah. You know who always astounds me that are really old, and now I think they're all dead now. But when they would show the World War II veterans, and these guys, I mean, those guys went through some shit.
Yeah, they went through poisons and bullets and. Losing limbs and all kinds of stuff, and they lived till almost 100.
And lots of them did. You see all these, I don't know if you ever watched, the Pacific or Ken Burns' War, or what was the other one? There was another one that was like the Pacific. That was about Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Every guy they showed was in their 70s, 80s, or 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking guy. And it was like, these guys lived through true hell. And I do mean true hell. And they lived to be 80. And here we are bitching about, I got burned a little bit. I'm going to make it to 50. What a pussy I am.
Right. Well, my dad is going to be 88 this week.
Jeez, 88.
Yeah, and he gets around just fine. He's as healthy as could be. No issues. Gets around fine. Still drives. Does a lot of labor. Things that he likes to do. Hobby type labor like building birdhouses and attending beehives and that kind of stuff.
He's a spry man with a lot of money.
He is. So
that's the way to do it. If you're gonna live to be 88, you got to have money, so that you can just say. And it's not only about just chasing tail, just so that you can do whatever the fuck you want. Be 88 years old and not have to be at the mercy of the bridge club in your nursing home or whatever.
Right, absolutely. And the thing is, and I look at it that. Everybody on my side, or actually on both sides of my parents, they all lived to be older and didn't end up in a nursing home or needed assisted living or anything. They just rocked till they dropped.
See, and that just sends the terrible message to me. My dad died at 69. My grandfather died at, I think he was 70. My grandmother on the one side, both grandmothers lived to be old. Both ended up in the home and all fucked up in their head and didn't know who they were. My dad didn't know who he was. So if I should be graced enough to live to be 80, it's going to be not knowing who I fucking am.
Sure.
So, yes.
Right. Well, the thing, I think my grandpa lived till like he was 94 and my grandma lived till she was 96. And then my grandfather's mother, I think she lived to 101.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And were they all still with it? Or
no issues. None.
No kidding. What do you do when you're 101? I mean, what do you even watch? Do you watch TV and go, look at these fucking kids? And meanwhile, it's like Robert De Niro. I mean, what could entertain you at that age?
Well, I think at least from what I've witnessed, the biggest entertainment that they received is visitors.
Okay, so they don't even give a shit about TV or anything?
It's not about TV. They just enjoy the interaction and the company of visitors.
Okay.
So it's just like, they like to visit, and boy, they could tell some stories.
Of course. They fucking remember from when the Titanic sank forward.
That's true.
Think about it. If you were 100 years old today, you were born in 1917.
Right.
You literally...
In World War I.
And your first real memories as a teenager would be the Depression. The Depression. Dude, when you think of the Depression, don't you think that's oldie time shit?
Well, absolutely. But again, that also explains a lot about the attitude and how they handled finances and money, because not having any money.
Yeah.
They all died with money. They had money just squirreled away. My grandmother died, my father's mother. She lived with my dad for the last few years of her life, and she got around, just fine and whatnot. But, because of that Depression era, he would go to the pharmacy to pick up her prescription or whatever. And she would always ask my dad, do you think there's enough money in my account to cover that? It was like it was like a $20 prescription. But yet when she passed away, over $500,000 in cash.
Well, but she was worried about that 20.
Yeah, she was worried that she had enough in her account to cover that.
What kind of phone is your dad rocking?
You mean a cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got, I don't know what brand it is, but I know my sister hooked him up with a cell phone.
He has a smartphone?
I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I know one of my sisters, gave him a phone, wanted him to have one. So he, agreed to have one.
I just wonder, when you get to that age, do you even dig into it a little bit and say, hey, look, I can surf the internet on my phone?
Well, he's well aware of that. My dad builds computers.
Your dad does?
My dad builds computers. He the last couple of PCs he's built himself.
No shit.
Yeah, he purchased all the parts and the case and all that stuff and built it himself.
I better watch it. This guy might steal my job.
Yeah, He started out with a Gateway way back in, the early 90s.
Right.
And then once he, got pretty computer savvy, whenever he needed a new PC or wanted a new PC, he would just get all the, the parts and build one himself.
He probably was sitting in his place 25 years ago going, Wendell, for God's sakes, put away the web TV. Get an email address.
Exactly. Exactly. So, he the guy taught me how to work on cars and how to build carburetors at 10 years old, so the thing is, I did my first tune-up on a Chevy Nova inline 6-cylinder 250 at 9 years old.
Wow.
Wow. So that, my dad was just like, and he didn't say this, but I know the attitude. My son is not going to be a pussy.
Right, of course.
Get out here. You're not going to be a faggot. Get out here. Get your hands dirty. Learn how to handle that wrench.
When you hit your hand on something, you pulled it out. He's like, get your hand back in there, Nancy.
Exactly. Here, hold this light. No, not like that. Hold it like this.
What the fuck can you see holding it like that, stupid?
That's exactly it.
He's like, yeah, that's great if you want to look at the neighborhood.
Right.
Look, fucking engine.
Right. Now, put that screwdriver down in there. No, not like that.
Yeah, of course. See, my dad was the same way, except he was retarded when it came to vehicles. So everything he ever taught me about vehicles was wrong, which is why I can't work on my cars at all.
Sure.
Because he would be... Have I ever told the story about painting his truck?
No.
Oh, dude, you got to hear this. This is fucking ridiculous. So he bought this truck at one point. It was a pickup, and it was a hunk of shit.
Okay.
I mean, just a bag of shit.
It was a Sanford and Son special.
That would have been an improvement. It literally was a 4x2 with two big wheels on the back, and somebody had jacked up the suspension on the back, like pretending that it was some kind of show truck.
Okay.
But it was just a heap of shit. It was like this was in like 85, I guess it would have been, because it was right before I graduated high school.
Sure.
And this truck had to be like a 1971. I mean, it was just garbage. So he goes out and buys probably 10, I don't know how this stuff is served, pounds or gallons or whatever of Bondo.
Okay.
I don't know what.
Yeah, it comes in gallons or,
Gallons?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So he buys 10 cans of this shit.
Right.
And we spend a day Bondoing this rusty bucket of shit. Yeah,
that's what they call a Bondo buggy.
Well, wait, because this gets better. Of course, he didn't have enough money to get the truck painted.
Okay.
But he did have enough money to go to Kmart and buy a 4-for-1 special of picnic table paint.
All right. He was Earl Scheib had nothing on him.
Him and I painted this whole truck with fucking picnic table paint.
Nice.
And my mom was so fucking horrified that this truck was in the driveway.
She was shocked and horrified.
She made him sell the truck.
Really?
It didn't last not 3 weeks. She would not have the. My mom used to have like a 280ZX.
Okay.
That she took really good care of. So we got this nice car, basically a race car, in the driveway, and then this fucking truck that Sanford wouldn't take in trade for a trumpet.
Sure.
I mean, it was just a bag of shit. And then at one point, my dad was like, I could give you this one for you to drive. Because that was right when I was getting my license. I was like, no thanks, Dad. Get rid of that thing. I didn't want nothing to do. Can you imagine being in high school and driving up in your fucking picnic table painted truck?
Yeah, it's like driving the Partridge Family bus.
Just horrible. Yeah, we painted that son of a bitch with picnic table paint and hand brushes. Or hand brushes and rollers, because he did the hood with a roller and then made me climb up once it dried and scrape all the paint off of the windshield.
Oh, nice.
It like splattered all over the windshield.
Sure.
And we didn't tape anything off.
Right. That your parents weren't from West Virginia, were they?
Might as well have been. Might as well, and that was always one of the jokes that, that became a family folklore joke, and that was always the joke was he could have taken that thing and sold it for about $5,000 down in West Virginia.
Sure.
Because it would have been a jewel down there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's my picnic table paint story.
Yeah. Well, my dad was, son, come on out here. I'm going to show you a couple of things, and we'd go out there and, be looking at the engine, and he goes, now you see that, and the thing is my dad was a pro at this. One of the things, you don't have to do this anymore, but years ago, before they got into electronic ignitions, you had to change the points and the cap and rotor on these older engines, And,
sure.
And in order to set the point gap just perfect, you had to get the cam of the distributor up on the high point. Then you had to set the gap on the points. So my dad was this master. He'd take this big screwdriver and he'd reach down and jump the starter between the solenoid and the starter and just bump the engine over, just like just enough to get the cam turned up,
Right.
So he was teaching me how to bump the cam over on the engine, And of course, it just takes this perfect touch, because if you go too long, it'll crank the engine over, It won't start because the distributor's off, but it'll turn it over too quick.
Right.
No, not like that. Take that screwdriver and put it in there like that. Now take that wrench. No, turn that wrench over. That's not how you hold a wrench.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're scared to death to get your fucking hand chopped off.
It's like now take that feeler gauge and stick it in there, and just till you get just enough drag on it, But he taught me how to do all that. That's why I do all the stuff I do even to this day,
Yeah, you still do a lot of work.
I do a lot of work on cars.
Yeah.
So, still do it. But that came from being a kid. Had a good dad who taught me how to do stuff. Unlike a lot of the kids today, they don't know shit.
No. Well, and the cars aren't built for them to learn shit either anymore.
That's true. So,
what can you do with a modern car? I mean, can you still work on a car like a 2017 anything?
Well, you can. I mean, you can do some upgrades on it. I mean, if you could put depending on what the car is. I mean, you can soup it up a little bit. You can, and again, it's all electronics, so you can change chips in the electronic control module, and you can actually put add-ons on if you want to go with like a blower or something like that. But as far as today's modern cars, no, there's not really a whole lot you can do.
Because, I know I need brakes on my car, and, I hear them squeaking a little bit. So, and it's been, 2 years and all that driving that I did.
Sure.
So it definitely needs brakes. But I'm afraid to do it because it has that sensor, that sensor that tells you if your tires are full or not. And I have no fucking...
That has nothing to do with your brakes.
But I have to take the tires off, so I got to disconnect it somehow, don't I?
No, it's like a wireless sensor.
I don't even... See, dude, I don't even have that much of a clue.
Yeah. The sensor is inside the wheel.
Oh, so, and it's just like a Bluetooth type of deal?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, maybe I will do my brakes, because I know how to do that.
Yeah, so you just got to take the caliper off and replace the brakes. And, today actually changing brakes on disc brakes on cars, you could do a half hour aside.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long, as long as you got one of them big clamps to open the fucker wide open.
You don't even need to do that. You just need a screwdriver, push the plunger back, and just take the...
Try to ruin how I do it, man. Don't confuse me.
Right. Well, welcome to Car Talk here on the Classic Metal Show.
That's right. I think we're taking over for Adam Carolla.
I think so. Car Talk. Look at that. See that dog?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
That's me.
Looking in there like, yeah, there's that starter. Now, if I had a screwdriver, I could bump this engine over.
So funny.
Well, dude, you and I have actually been apart on the show for 3 weeks. You did a solo show last week with Adam Drake.
Yep.
And you guys seemed like you were having a good time with that, even though Adam's mic was a little hotter than yours.
That's all right. Whatever.
Yeah. But overall, it was good. And then we had a pre-record 2 weeks ago, and then here we are live back. So I was out rocking and rolling for 2 weekends.
Yeah, you were on the Dokken trail, weren't you?
I was for 2 weeks, and I got to hang out with Stephen Pearcy last week.
Right.
And he was extremely nice. And, I told you this during the week, but might as well just get into it. Sure. I went to see Stephen at the Arcada Theater out in St. Charles, which is about, for me, it's about 90 miles west of me here.
Okay.
And went out, and Stephen's just like, yeah, hit me up the day before the show. I'll hook you right up.
Right.
So I left work, came home. I get home. I figured the show wouldn't even start till like 9.
Sure.
So I was able to come home, pack an overnight bag because I was going up to meet Dokken after the Stephen show.
Okay.
And so I went out to St. Charles, and our good friend Chips Enough was opening up the show for Stephen.
That's cool.
And I was looking at the time schedule, at least on the website, and it said that Stephen wouldn't even be hitting the stage till 10.
Okay.
So I figured, okay, well, I'll catch Chip at 9 or so, and then I'll catch Stephen at 10. Well, right. I got there right at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen was just coming on stage at 9.
So what happened to Chip?
Well, I didn't get to see Chip perform.
Okay.
And hang on a minute, I'm taking care of business here.
All right.
Donna's actually texting me.
Oh.
He's taking care of our good friend Serena.
I bet he is.
Yeah. Hang on a minute.
Give her a little bump.
They're playing at the Whiskey tonight, and Serena wants to go out to the show.
Mm-hmm.
So he's putting her on the guest list.
Look at that.
All right.
Hope I can get on the guest list sometime again.
You'll be on the guest list.
Yeah. I know.
All right. All right, there we go.
All right.
He's like, I need the name. All right. So anyway, I went out, and Stephen just hit the stage when I got there.
Sure.
So I walk into this place, and it seemed like everybody was very laid back and casual, and the place wasn't marked as far as like a ticket window or anything.
Okay.
And I walk in, I go, where's the tickets? And they point me over to like a little gift shop area.
Right.
So I walk in there, and this kid is sitting behind the counter. I'm just like, you got a pass for me? And the kid, asked me my name. I show him my license, and he goes, yeah, I got a ticket here for you. So he hands me this ticket, and he goes, enjoy the show. And I go, you got some after show passes for me? And he goes, oh yeah, I got some right here.
Here you go.
I said, can I have them?
Yeah.
He goes, I got 2. You need a second ticket? I said, no, I don't need a second ticket. I said, this is cool.
Right.
So I walk in, and Stephen just broke into the first song just as I walked in, so I missed Enough's Enough.
Okay.
And Stephen had me set up second row center.
Nice.
So I walked up, and I sent over a little bit of video for when he was doing.
I take it.
Yeah, I can't take it, but that's where I was watching the show from, right there at the edge of the stage.
That's cool.
So he ran through like four of his solo songs from his latest release, and then he played. The rest of it was RATT catalog.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Let's see. So I'm trying to take care of business and talk at the same time.
You want to play a song?
No. Leave the show at 10. Text Eric, and he's also coming at 10. So just be there before that. She won't be on. If she gets. Oh, okay. All right. trying to be a go between here. So
Wendell Neeley, Ticketmaster.
Yeah, look at me. So anyway, Serena, if you get to the venue before 10, the list won't be at the door. So that's all I got to tell you. I know she's listening, so she's going to head out because they don't hit the stage till even 11.
Oof.
So you got that, Serena? If you get there before 10, the list won't be there yet. So, all right.
So stay home.
No, she's going to go. But anyway, so I watched the Stephen show. His band was really good.
Sure.
And they did a great job. Played the RATT classics, played the new stuff great, enjoyed it. So I went over to the side stage there with, where they were letting people back.
Okay.
And guess who's standing over there?
Who?
Chip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so Chip, he's got one of his wacky ass hats on, and his big sunglasses, and he's just kind of like towering all over everybody.
Hey, brother.
Exactly. So I walk up to him, I go, Chip, and he goes, "Hey, my friend, it's good to see you." And so we were just like, shooting the shit. And I said, okay, I brought this up a half a dozen times already in the last couple of years. When are you going to come down? Well, how am I going to get there? I don't drive,
Yeah.
I said, well, Chip, if you want, I'll come and get you. Can we do dinner too?
Dinner?
I said, yeah, I'll come and get you early enough and we'll go have a nice dinner and then we'll go to the CMS studio and you can come hang around with Chris and I. And he's just like, it's a real honor that you want old Chips enough to be part of your show like that. And you tell your partner, Chris, where is Chris, by the way? Where is he? I said, he's in Cleveland, Chip. He lives over in Cleveland. Oh, I thought maybe he'd come out here and be with you.
What, to the show?
Yeah, to the show.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll drive 6 hours to see Enough's Enough and RATT.
Yeah, so he's just like, you got an incredible show there. That's just an incredible show. What you guys do is incredible.
Thanks.
I said, well, why don't you come down and be part of the incredible?
Yeah.
Well, and I was asking him, if he still lived in the same place. And I said, I only work 10 minutes from your house. He goes, if you come over to the house, you could come over anytime you want, day or night. You could just come over. Just give me the knock. You can come over anytime, my friend. Come over and hang out.
Nice.
Chip's a character.
Yeah, he is. Meanwhile, if you went there, there's no chance he'd be awake.
Yeah.
If you went over there like at lunchtime or something, no chance he'd be awake.
Yeah. So I was just like, well, we'll see. So the security let us down, and Steven's doing these meet and greets and taking pictures. They got the professional photographer down there and shooting photos and whatnot. And,
sure.
I was just kind of hanging back because I was there as a guest. I wasn't down there for the meet and greet to get photos taken. And there was nobody coming down. I was just standing there. So I walked in and I go, Steven, he goes, well, holy cow, look who it is.
Nice.
So he come over and give me a big hug. He goes, and so the camera guy thought I was there for the meet and greet and photo. Let's get a photo. He goes, nah, just get your cell phone out. You don't need a photo with this guy here. He says, let's take a couple of quick photos, So he and I took some photos with the phone, which you
right.
put up on the Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, dude, it's so good to see you. He says, you know what? I got to do this meet and greet, but come down and just hang out with us. Just hang out. Just go back there with the guys, and I'm just like, cool,
Sure.
Because, there were people who paid extra for the meet and greet, right?
Yeah.
And so he just like, yeah, just go back there and hang out with the guys. I said, all right, I'll just be back there. So I walked back. Now, mind you, I don't know him. I've met him before, but it's been a lot of years. I mean, I'm talking 2005, 2006.
Okay.
His guitarist, Eric Ferrantino.
Yeah.
I met him once. I had given him a CMS shirt like 15 years ago, literally.
Okay.
And I walk back there, and Greg DeAnda, former White Lion drummer, he drums with Stephen. And then there's Ferrantino, and then Frankie Wilsey. They're all hanging back there. I walk back there. I walk in, and they all start yelling my name. Neeley! Neeley! We heard you were going to be here tonight. I was just like, holy shit.
Wow.
And all of them just kind of gathered around and said, dude, we are the biggest fans of your show.
Nice.
We love your show. We, especially Eric. He was just like, you guys, I listened to every episode. I downloaded on YouTube. It's really cool how you guys break the show up into 1 hour segments like that. He goes, right. I listen to it every week. You guys didn't do a show last week. He goes, I went to look and there was nothing to download.
Right.
I was just like, wow. I said, you are a fan. He goes, yeah, hail and kill, motherfucker. Hand job. I was just like, holy cow, that's a fan.
That's hilarious.
He goes, yeah, I'm so glad you're here tonight. Oh, he's like, wow, that's a nice welcoming greeting.
Sure.
So they were just talking to me and said, dude, the stuff you guys talk about is so fucking funny. Where's your friend Chris? Where's Chris? I got to meet that Chris Aiken guy. And I said, well, he'll be at the show in Kent. I said, he'll come back. Well, yeah, he's got to come back. We thought maybe he'd be with you tonight,
Again, we're attached at the hip.
Well, we're a duo. We're Opie and Anthony. We got to show up together,
I guess maybe we need to start coordinating our concert going.
Yeah, we got to show up together.
Yeah. Well, I hope they lay that kind of praise on me because I'll have the girl with me.
Well, believe me, I was surprised.
That will be instant puss.
So then Stephen comes back after the meet and greet, and he comes up, he puts his arm around and goes, dude, he says, I've been listening to your stuff. You guys are so spot on, so funny, just so funny.
That's so good.
Just like, wow, I appreciate that. He says, that's very cool that you came out tonight. Thanks for supporting the record, and thanks for letting me know how much you enjoy it. I said, I played a lot of cuts from it. On the show. Oh, that's so good, dude. We need to rage on again on the show. I said, Stephen, the door is always open. Anytime you want to come on for anything,
right? You
can come on. People love you. I said, you're in the hierarchy, Stephen. I said, the favorite guest, Stephen Pearcy, Don Dokken, Nader DePriest, Geoff Tate, Veronica. Those, you're in the hierarchy of the top 5.
Sure.
I said, that's so cool, man. That's so cool. Well, thanks for for the hookup and treating me so well,
Sure.
You want something to eat? We got food over here. Whatever you want. We don't have any drinks backstage because we don't drink anymore. We don't do anything. Really? They don't drink. They don't smoke. They don't do nothing. Eric doesn't drink. Steven doesn't drink. Nobody drinks. Nobody does anything.
Took one of those peas right out of there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Stephen had a half of a cigarette, and he goes, this is the last of what I have left, and I can't even smoke it down here. He says, my next stop, back to Catholic school.
That's funny.
So those guys were super nice, very complimentary, talked about how much they enjoyed the show. All of them very cool, took pictures and all that good stuff. So it was fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'm just amazed that they know the show so well. That's awesome.
They do. Believe me, they do. They were into the whole repeating back a few lines here and there and things like that. It's like, yeah, you really do listen.
They're gonna end up not liking me at all because I don't even remember half the shit we say.
Sure, absolutely. But of course, they like the whole Blotzer bashing. They enjoyed that a lot.
Sure, they do.
Yeah. So that's the big deal,
Sure, of course.
So then, I wrapped up things there. They had to head out, and then Friday night, Dokken was flying into O'Hare.
Right.
And they were playing up in Waukegan with Firehouse and Warrant the following night.
Right.
So they weren't getting in till 10:30 anyway, and it was only like 10:30 at the club out in St. Charles. So by the time I drove from St. Charles up to Waukegan, I was arriving at the same time they were.
Right.
So I walked into the hotel, and Don was at the desk already, and I just stepped in, and he goes, "Oh," he says, "I didn't know if you'd be here or not." He says, "But I got your room anyway. Here's your key."
Not.
I was just like, wow, very nice. So you didn't have to do that. Oh, no, dude. Don't worry, dude. Don't worry about it. So, I met up with the guys at the hotel Friday night. It's just been a long day.
Sure.
Long day. The thing is people don't realize what a lot of these bands have to do to get to a show, to do the show.
Right.
Because, there's a lot of switching planes and layovers, and if you're not going into a big city, now they were able to fly direct from LAX from LAX to O'Hare.
Okay.
But some of the smaller out of the way places, sometimes they have to switch a couple planes, and then they have to drive, and all this, and so sometimes it's a 10-hour travel day just to get there to do one show.
And even if it's LAX to O'Hare, those are two miserably huge airports. Those are tough to negotiate.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
And then they got to get a car, and then they got to drive out to the venue, which Waukegan is about 45 minutes away from O'Hare, and then, check into the room and all that kind of stuff. So, we checked in, and I went up to Don's room and shot the shit with him for a while, and find out what's going on. And then he's just like, yeah, get me up tomorrow for breakfast. Let's go do some breakfast tomorrow, Saturday, right. So we checked into this nice suite, had a big front room with a couch and king-size bed and the whole thing, just nice suites,
Sure.
So the next day, I just kind of took it easy, watched some Netflix, just laid out in the room. We went to sound check. And the thing is it's important that they get the sound right.
Right.
Hang on, Don's texting me again.
Hey, Don, we're on the air, goddammit. Let's just call him.
Yeah. He's resting, though, because he did 2 shows in Texas.
He's blind in
Texas. Right, exactly.
What, does he not know Serena's name?
He does, but he was just asking.
What, if he could fuck her tonight?
I don't think that's the deal.
That's not the deal? He's giving her tickets, for God's sakes.
He is.
He should at least get his knob jobbed.
Right.
A little bit.
Don's a decent dude, man.
That doesn't mean Mick is.
That's true, too. That's true, too. But anyway, so we went to sound check, and Warrant was there, and Firehouse was there, and they were all warming up and everything, and getting the sound right and everything. And I tell you what, when you have a decent sound check and are working with good people and, have good equipment and everything, it really makes all the difference in the world, because that show went off without a hitch.
Yeah, the video you sent sounded pretty good.
It was real good. The whole show was real good. So, that was... Okay. All right. So anyway, so the show went off without a hitch, right?
Yeah.
So good show. Everybody was in good spirits. I sent you a little video and all that kind of stuff. And then, we went back to the hotel, and we were just kind of hanging out, and I drove Dawn back to the hotel before the other guys left, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I was hanging out with Don, and we were talking, and then my cell phone starts ringing, and it's Mick.
Okay.
And he goes, "Are you back at the hotel already?" I go, "Yeah, I'm up in Don's room talking to him." He goes, "Well, we're down here in the SUV. We're gonna go have drinks, so get your ass down here and go with us."
Yeah, now we're talking.
So there was a BW3s close by there, and They were open till, I don't know, like 1 or maybe 2. I don't know. It was late. And
Okay.
we went over there, and me and Chris and John decided to hit the rack, and me and Mick and Chris McCarville went over there.
Okay.
So we walked into the bar, and we're just sitting there at the bar, and walk up, and Mick's like, "I'm buying. What do you have?" And I said, "Well, I'll have the Jack. I'll have a Jack and Coke." And he goes, so the girl asked me, "Single or double?" I said, "I'll have a double." I said, "What do I look like? Some kind of a faggot?" Mick thought that was the funniest goddamn thing.
Nice.
He laughed his ass off. He says, like, you never get to hear people actually talk like that anymore. So we sat there just, having a few drinks and shooting the shit. And a couple of girls came over who kind of knew them a little bit. And they were, just being the groupies that they were.
Mm-hmm.
Just, kind of past their prime and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, we went back to the hotel, and Dawn's like, wake me up tomorrow. I want some IHOP pancakes. I want some of their crepes. Because they didn't fly out till like noon. So he says, "What? Well, let's go do breakfast in the morning."
Okay.
So we went to the IHOP in the morning and went and had some crepes, had some breakfast.
Boy, it is amazing how different it actually is from what people think it is.
Yeah, it's not party, rock and roll, hanging out. It's just a very social thing.
Yeah, people think, hey, get off stage and there's 50 naked whores to fuck.
It's nothing like that at all.
4 at a time until 7 a.m. Instead, it's nothing like that.
Mm-mm.
Instead, you went to one night, nobody drinks. The next night, you went casually drinking. I'm sure nobody drank like 15 drinks.
No, we each had a double. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And then back to the hotel.
Back to the hotel, call it a night, go to IHOP in the morning, hang out, just shoot the shit, then, catch a plane out of town, So the guys were getting in the SUV, and, we were all saying our goodbyes, and Mick comes over. He comes over and gives me a hug. He goes, "All right, good to see you again. Take care of yourself, you fucking faggot." So, that was pretty much the whole weekend.
That's fun.
It was fun. It was just fun hanging out Friday with Stephen, and fun hanging out with Dokken on Saturday while you were doing the show with John, or not John, but Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, we had fun. I mean, it was fun. It was a good show. The Icon condom thing was kind of ridiculous, but, we just did our thing. It was fun, though. I don't really have any stories. I mean, I could tell my Geoff Tate story, because I did go see Geoff Tate in between the last time we were live.
Well, yeah, I want to hear about that, because he's doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
With the, kind of like an acoustic thing, or a different, what do you want to call it? Different arrangement with the Queensryche songs?
Yeah, it's a storyteller's type of a thing. He's got a violin player, like a guitar player, a bass player, and a guy playing some kind of a box. Okay. I don't know what. I thought it was a suitcase. He like sits on this box and he hits the box, and somehow it's mic'd up or something. I don't know what this thing's called. John told me it's like some sort of an instrument.
Okay.
I don't know. To me, it was a box. But he did this reworking of a lot of Queen. It was almost all Queensryche tunes. He did like, I don't know, maybe 2 songs that were Operation Mindcrime, and all the rest were Queensryche tunes. And he did go into some deeper songs and some songs that nobody remembers. Like he did a song from American Soldier, and he did one from Here in the Now Frontier, but not like what was the song that was off that one? Not Time After Time. What was that song?
I don't know that album that well, to be honest with you.
So baby, please let me know if the sorry is all slow, or so. I don't know the words.
Okay.
Anyway, he played some other song, but it was very good. It was about as I love to see stuff that's different.
Sure.
So for me to see it in that setting, it was really, really good. And I don't care what anybody says about Geoff Tate. you know, no, all kidding aside, all real Geoff Tate aside, this guy can still sing his fucking ass off. He was hitting the highest high notes on some of the most difficult songs, and he was nailing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he nailed it on The Lady Wore Black, and he played a bunch of old songs and was just nailing the notes. And I was like, God damn, why did we think this guy couldn't sing anymore?
Sure. Well, because I think that he at some point he kind of like Don, you know, when the last 2 weeks I saw him obviously last Saturday and then the Saturday before that down in Southern Illinois.
Right.
And he's, you know, he quit the smoking, quit the drinking, quit everything, just, you know, taking care of his voice, and he regained several octaves that he hasn't had in a while. No rasp, very clean. I mean, you heard the one track that I sent over.
Right. Normally, as I sit here dying, normally I would call you out on it and say you're full of shit, except I watched, you know our friend Angie Dokken.
Yeah, absolutely.
She went out, was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, they were down in Texas. Yeah, two shows in Texas.
Well, she live streamed the whole show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all hour and a half or whatever it was of the show. And I tuned in a couple different times during it just to see what was going on, because she was like really close.
Okay.
To where I could really hear it really well. And Don sounded really good. I would absolutely say, regardless of anything, I would say he sounds like ass.
Yeah.
But he sounded really good. Did he sound like 1985?
No, but he's clean. There's no raspiness. There's no huskiness in his voice. And
he's going for high notes.
He is, absolutely.
I was very impressed on what I watched off of Facebook. It was pretty damn good.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 weekends that I was with them, they sounded really good.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they got, Don's got it together.
Well, he's slimmed down, and he's been taking care of his voice and being very, very, just taking that time to do all the right things, and it's paid off.
Right. Speaking of that, I got my stuff today.
Your stuff?
The Perfect 7.
Oh, yeah.
I got my perfect. I didn't take it. I was afraid of what would happen if I took it. I was afraid to take it before the show. I'm going to take my first dose of it when we finish tonight.
All right. Well, you probably won't see the results of that until like 12 to 18 hours, but still.
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to do it, and then just be like, I got to run to the bathroom.
Yeah. Right. Right. It works, dude. That's all I can tell you.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, and for those who don't know what we're talking about, Don had shared with me a little health tip that there's a supplement, and I call it a supplement because it's not really a laxative. It's a supplement, is what it is, and it's called Perfect 7. It's been around since like 1973.
Right,
and it aids in your digestive system, and it just helps you. It helps in weight management stuff. And boy, I tell you, the first time that you take it, though, it will clean you out from the bottom of your rib cage down.
It's just a sludge remover.
It is, and then after that, on a day-to-day basis, it's nothing like that. But that first time, oh my God.
So that first time, am I looking forward to a black bowl where it looks like somebody dumped ink into the fucking toilet?
You might have to have like a pail of water.
Oh, really?
to help flush it down.
It's like an anaconda sneaking out the bottom.
It's just, I don't want to get into all the grossness, but boy, I'll tell you, it just, wow.
So is it solid or is it goo?
Well, it's solid. The first time, it's like just a heaping mess. But then the second time, third, and I've been taking it all week, and it's just, it's very just, like clockwork.
So do I go in there with toilet paper or just a towel that I don't mind throwing away?
Well, you might have the shower handy. I don't know.
Just brown ooze just dripping down my leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But boy, it makes you feel like you're light on your feet, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, how much did you lose? Did you weigh yourself?
No, I don't have a scale. I don't have a scale, but I'll tell you what, that definitely helps with the belly bloat.
I will step on a scale tomorrow and I'll tell you exactly how much I lose. That'd be something if it's like some ridiculous number.
It's like 6 pounds. Yeah, 6 pounds. All in one
sludge.
You'll be like with that comedian, what's his name? His last name is White. Ron White.
White, yeah.
He goes, you ever take a dump so big your pants actually fit better?
This might be the one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just a couple old fucks concerned about health issues these days.
That's right.
Just trying to keep it healthy so we can have the Classic Metal Show for a few more years and bring you all this goodness.
Yeah, I'm trying to hang in there for those 6 more years.
Norge wants to know, it's called Perfect 7, Norge. Perfect 7.
Yeah. Once we go to break, I'll take a picture of mine and put it up.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Perfect 7. It's you mix it in water, you drink it down, and that's it.
And you said it has no taste,
It has
right?
no taste.
All right.
But you don't want to stir it too long because it'll turn into quicksand.
Really?
Yeah.
So really, you just dump it in and chug.
Well, you dump it in, mix it just for maybe 30 seconds at the most.
All right.
And then just drink it down.
All right.
But if you do it more than 30 seconds, it'll start turning into like a quicksand.
You think I could just dump a little down my drain if it stopped a little too? Think it'd work?
I have no idea.
It's basically the same shit.
It's not Drano.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, I mean, what clogs your sinks? It's usually, food that's not all digested up or grease.
Yeah.
All of which is in your fucking colon, too.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Maybe you use that stuff, too.
Yeah. Well, again, it's not a brand new thing on the market. I had never heard of it, but Don's been using it for a little over a year or so, and it works. So he actually brought me some. He says, hey, I got your powder up in the room. You can stop by the room and pick it up.
Your dealer.
Yeah. Said, here's your Perfect 7. Now go take some. See how it works for you.
Yeah, Don's your dealer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's what we rock and rollers do. We just sit around and talk about health tips.
Right. Talk about your next visit to GNC.
Yeah. What do you and that was the whole thing when we were at breakfast. Well, be careful about eating that and don't eat that and don't eat the hash browns and just set that to the side.
And then what are you going to eat?
Well, you just eat, just like a omelet, like a vegetable omelet or something like that. But you don't like pour syrup on it or eat hash browns and things.
Why do I not believe for 1 second that Mick honors that?
Well, Mick didn't go with us, so I have no idea.
I think Mick would look at Don and be like, fuck you, pass the syrup. Just take the lid off and dump the whole thing on it.
Yeah. So.
I don't see Mick as being a calorie counter.
Sure.
On anything. I mean, on anything.
Right. I see Tyron Eric Dawson in the chat room saying, Alex Jones has some good health products.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we do now. When we do podcasts and live shows, we do health products now. We got to be endorsed.
Well, now we should call this Perfect 7 since we're both using it.
Yeah, we're using it. What kind of an endorsement deal can you give us?
Yeah, we'll put you on our best nigger-hating segment. What's that worth to you?
Exactly. That's so good. So, anyway, we are back.
Yeah.
And having a good time, obviously, and catching up.
Sure. Big news this week that we have to get to.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely get to that. So you think about how you want to present that, and we'll take a short break.
All right.
And you let me know how we're going to approach this, and we'll jump into it.
Okay. I mean, I know how I want to approach it. We just whatever you're going to come out of a RATT tune.
Okay.
Or better yet, come out of a Tarsha tune.
All right, we can do that.
Come out of a Tarsha tune, and we'll go through the whole story. You know, it's not a secret. I mean, it's not like it's new, like shocking, but our good friend Sean Sheldon, went from Quiet Riot to unemployed to Bobby Blotzer's RATT within like a day.
Right.
And well, I'll get into the specifics of it later, but I am the conduit between the media and Sean.
Okay.
He's not talking to anybody else. He asked me, him and I did talk about him coming on, and I shut that down.
Right.
And I'll explain why when we come back.
Okay.
Tease. But I'll explain why, and I'll explain what I've heard, and maybe some of my own personal thoughts. And we will have an exclusive that I will read. It is a statement that is probably gonna make some news.
All right.
So we'll have some fun.
All right. Well, May Kay requested that I play some Exodus.
All right.
And I'll let you pick it since you're more into the Exodus than me. I like Exodus, but I know you know their catalog better than I do.
Well, then I would, if we're going to go with Exodus, then I would go with Raze, R-A-Z-E, Raze. And that is on, which one of the Dukes records is that?
Exhibit B, Shovel-Headed Kill Machine.
It's on one of them.
Exhibition A.
Yeah, it's called Raze. I think it might be Exhibit A.
Exhibit A?
I think.
I don't see it on there. So we'll go with B. Let's see where.
Where is Raze? It's on Shovel-Headed Kill Machine, like I said.
Okay. See, I was looking for you to be the expert on this, and apparently not.
I knew it was there.
Yeah.
I just didn't know which album.
All right. Okay, we're going to play some Exodus and another song, and then we'll be back, and then we'll talk about all the silliness that goes on in our world.
All right.
All right, so here it is. This is Exodus exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
This is Gary Holt from Exodus, and you're listening to the only thing on the web better than porn. I don't know about that. The Classic Metal Show. Keep it metal.